Welcome along to our early Premier League preview of the weekend's action. We're going to have three massive games that we're looking ahead for you. It's myself, James Mason, and Tom McGarry next to me that are going to go in depth. Then we'll start, well, where else to start really, than the match that is taking place at Anfield as the Premier League leaders Liverpool take on Leicester City. Now, the Foxes are emerging as potential title contenders maybe, but I think everyone's more looking to them to break into the top four. Now, Liverpool are 6-13 on to pick up the win. A draw is 39-10, while Leicester are 67-10 to pick up all 3 points. Now, Liverpool had a scrappy 1-0 win against Sheffield United last time out. Leicester absolutely thumped Newcastle by 5-0. Are you giving the Foxes any chance in this one?
I think they have to be given a realistic shot, given the way they've been performing so far this season. As you say, that 5-0 victory over Newcastle was so impressive. They've got goals all over the pitch. They did it as well without their most creative player, James Maddison. There's the added caveat as well of Brendan Rodgers, the Leicester manager, returning to his former club, Liverpool. We know it didn't end particularly well for him there, so he'll have a point to prove and he'll have his players G'd up. Leicester actually have 2 points more at this stage of the season than they did when they won the league title back in 2016 under Claudio Ranieri. This is a good Leicester side. I think at the moment probably are the third best team in the Premier League. Liverpool, though, home advantage, 7 wins from 7 in the league so far this season. I don't think they've been at their best necessarily most of the time, particularly against Sheffield United last weekend, but that's a sign of a good team. It's still winning when they're not playing that well. So the head says Liverpool should go on and win the game, but you just have that sneaky thing that Leicester, given how good they've been recently, they could still cause a bit of an upset.
Yeah, it should be an absolute cracker no matter what. We'll move from Merseyside then over to Lancashire because Burnley are taking on Everton then at Turf Moor. Now, Burnley are 83-41 to pick up the 3 points. A draw is 23-10, whilst Everton are 8-5. Now, Burnley coming to this one off the back of a hard-fought 2-2 draw against Aston Villa. As for Everton, well, they were beaten by Manchester City, but it was an improved performance. Still, though, Marco Silva seems to be under a degree of pressure. The Toffees boss. Which one are you going for here, Tom?
Again, it's a tough game to call. I do fancy, though, Burnley with home advantage to perhaps nick the result. Everton are a good side, don't get me wrong, but they seem to struggle against teams that will sit back and allow them to try and push on. Burnley will do that, even though they're at home. They'll want to play on the counter-attack. The long balls could ruffle the Everton feathers as well. We know the Toffees defensively have struggled over recent weeks. And yeah, I just think Everton confidence is a little low at the moment. The pressure and the jury is certainly out on Marco Silva. 3 Premier League defeats in a row. Yes, they were better against City, but yeah, a 4th defeat in this one, which I see as being highly probable. And then the question marks are going to be really asked about whether Silva is the man to take them forward. For Burnley, another solid victory if they can get it in that game, and they'll be sitting comfortably in mid-table. And I think there'll be no dramas for them really over the course of the season.
There you have it, Sean Dyche's men getting the nod in that one. We move on to our third and final game. Then it takes place at Carrow Road as Norwich City are going up against Aston Villa. Now, Norwich are 11-8 to get the win. A draw is at 11-4, while Villa are 11-5, so very even in the markets. Now, the Canaries, they haven't won a game since that shock victory against Manchester City. As for Villa, we mentioned earlier, they had a 2-2 draw against Burnley. They will feel they probably should have won that one. Who are you going for on this one?
I'm just edging towards the home side. Norwich, all their points so far this season have come at Carrow Road, including that fabulous victory you mentioned against Manchester City in their last home game. They're terrible away. They've scored 1 goal, I think, all season and lost all their matches, including in the cup against a lower league opposition. So I think that home advantage, getting back to Carrow Road where there's still a feel-good factor, will stand them in good stead against an Aston Villa side who are below them in the table, struggling, perhaps feeling 1 or 2 decisions aren't quite going their way, particularly when it comes to VAR. So I think Norwich will nick this one. One thing I will say is I'd expect goals. Both sides decent going forward. Cannot keep a clean sheet at the back.
Well, there you have it. They are our 3 views on the games. Then let us know yours via our social media channels. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on YouTube.